Hello, I'm Neil Ladati. I'm the Assistant City Manager, and I want to thank you for your time. On behalf of our City Manager, Nancy Newton, it's my pleasure to present the fiscal year 2023 budget for the City Manager's office. So I want to start by thanking the City Council for their work over the last year. I mean, you'll hear from people that things have slowed during COVID, but I can tell you that in the city, we're fortunate things have not slowed. Things have been extremely busy, and our council has been there every step of the way, providing guidance, policy decisions, and our office gets to work very closely with our council. So we appreciate their work and we appreciate being able to help them meet the goals and priorities of our community. In the City Manager's office, we have 9 FTE charged with providing leadership and guidance in implementing those objectives from our mayor and council. This leadership is fostered by our City Manager, Nancy Newton, who has encouraged us and works side by side with us to provide excellent service while making the tough decisions that often need to be made. Our budget, as you can see, has remained flat, relatively flat, with a handful of changes that we'll address. And as shown here, you'll see and you'll notice an increase in personal services and a slight decrease in materials and services. You'll see here, these are the financial summaries by fund. Several funds go into running the City Manager's office. Now, to better meet the needs of our ever-changing community, we did a reorganization in the City Manager's office. Really teams of admin and communication and economic development and legislative staff members. A new administrative assistant was hired last September. It was following the retirement of our former admin assistant. And then we are now recruiting for a new economic development manager following the departure of our former dev manager. Also, 2 new positions have been added, and we are excited about the skills that they're going to bring to the City Manager's office. The first, as you'll see there under economic development and legislative, is a new legislative and economic development management analyst. We'll be taking on legislative priorities, the CMO budget, and additional data related pieces for all of the economic development work that we do. We're excited for the work that we'll get out of this person. And then also we are looking to hire a limited duration ARPA project manager. And then this person will have specific ARPA funded projects citywide that need to be completed in a limited time. And so we're excited to bring this new person on. That person will be also funded by ARPA dollars. So our accomplishments over the last year, we switched to hybrid meetings. So when COVID hit, we had to go from all in person to virtual. Then we switched from virtual to hybrid. So this allows, again, for a transparency and ability for community members to participate and see their meetings, but also it allows a mix of people that are in person and people that are virtual. And so we've been working to make sure that happens. And we're able to do that with CARES dollars through a partnership with our finance department to upgrade the audiovisual technology in both the council chambers and associated meeting rooms. During the Oregon 2022 short session, we worked with our local rep, John Lively, identifying priorities and projects for $2 million in ARPA funds that'll come to our community. We've also secured an additional $1.2 million for housing related projects. During that time, we tracked more than 50 bills, and the priorities of the city were priorities for our legislative team. In the property management realm, we've created policies and procedures to centralize property management process to better serve our customers that rent from us by also providing increased transparency for the process. DEI work is something that is vitally important to our city manager. It's vitally important to all of us here in the City Manager's office. Nancy was recently appointed the co-chair of the Equity and Community Consortium, or the ECC, And both Nancy and I serve and actively participate on the city's internal diversity committee, which is an incredible group of people. And we've also joined GARE, which is a government alliance on race and equity, and has been useful for training and other resources for city administration. And then, of course, Glenwood Development, we've been assisting the CETA board in selecting and then moving forward with the development team for the Glenwood Riverfront project. We did that through a competitive RFQ. And then we'll learn in the next slides about Blue Mackenzie, which is a high priority market rate housing project planned for downtown. Some of the initiatives for fiscal year 23 is the council and city hall security upgrades. It's been a long time goal for us to update the council chambers, not only for security, but for better use. It's a little bit dated in the layout. We'd like to change that. We're going to be using ARPA dollars to upgrade the security and then also just make the space more usable. We'll also be doing some work throughout City Hall, moving the city manager's office so the library can expand. The library will talk about that during their budget presentation. Equity training, again, high priority, and we continue to develop and increase the number of and quality of trainings here in the city manager's office. Glenwood and downtown urban renewal projects. So while this typically shows up in the CETA budget, the same employees that do that work are also here in CMO. So very connected. We continue to facilitate both the Glenwood Riverfront project and the downtown Blue Mackenzie project. Those will be very high priorities. Mission, vision, values. Before the pandemic, we started some deep dives into the mission, vision, values of the city, hoping to put that into a strategic plan for the city. That work will continue, and we started that process again, working closely with our partners in Eugene to look at the Eugene Springfield Fire Governance Model. CMO is leading the work on the Springfield side with our partners in Eugene. Two of our city councilors, Councilor Moe and Councilor Rodley, are part of a group that's holding public meetings, going through these governance models and review. And we're in phase 1 and 2 coming up over the next year. And then customer service request tracking. CMO gets so many calls and requests. We're looking at finding a new software solution to allow better tracking from our council and community members so we can get you from that initial call or challenge that you need some assistance with to the final completion. In the future, budget comes through the city manager's office. That's the city manager's budget. And work continues on a focused plan for addressing the structural budget deficit here at the city. We're also at the same time developing strategies and identifying where our organization can do better in hiring, attracting new workforce, retaining that workforce, an ever-changing workforce, and how do we best prepare the city as we move forward. Council resources, as you know, our council puts in a lot of hours. They are volunteers, but we in the community ask them to do a lot. And so we want to make sure we're supporting and training, excuse me, and providing the resources needed, whether that be technology, networking, meeting support, so they can do the best to serve their community. And then deferred maintenance. Typically, this would come up in DPW, but also here, there are city-owned facilities that we're watching here in the city manager's office, and identifying those resources so we can make sure there's replacements, repairs, everything needed on the city-owned buildings, something that we'll be looking for in future years. So a very quick overview of our budget. Please read through it. If you have any questions, let us know. And again, thank you for your time.